Yeah, we're past the halfway point on the 90-minute SportsMax Zone for this Friday, and we're going to talk some football now. The Caribbean continuing to produce and export young and promising talent across various sporting disciplines, taking their locally cultivated skills across the globe to some of the biggest leagues in the world. Today, we zero in on another youngster making the leap into the realms of Europe's finest, the 16-year-old Sean Leighton of the Phoenix All-Stars Academy and formerly of reigning Manning Cup champions Mona High. He's on his way to London to join Premier League club Chelsea. This move follows another move by another Phoenix All-Stars Academy product, DeJohn Whisper Richards, who many would know signed for Chelsea after an impressive season in the Manning Cup 2 years ago. That's local football in Jamaica schoolboys. We are pleased to be joined by young Sean Leighton and CEO of Phoenix All-Stars Academy, Casey Butler. Casey and Sean, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you both on. First time on the SportsMax Zone, but not the first time on SportsMax, because I saw you talking to Mariah Ramharak in her In Case You Missed It show. Before I get a quick word from Sean, how proud are you of this latest attachment that Phoenix is going to revel in?
I'm immensely proud. I'm very grateful that we can continue to develop players and put them in positions to better themselves and better the country and be better for their families as well. So I'm incredibly proud of another product of Phoenix, essentially. Yeah,
and you're very young yourself to be a CEO of this academy. I know your dad, Craig, has invested in you as a part of the entire project, and you have grown into this position, and you appear to be embracing it.
Thank you.
You like it?
I do, yeah.
Sean, we saw you playing for Mona in Manning Cup football. Very, very impressive. Talk to us about this journey. Let's say over the past year, what you were able to achieve and your time at Gank in Belgium.
Well, I'm very impressed with myself and my coaches for the help and support they've given me over this past year. And the work that we've put in as a team, for like me, coach and my father, collective as a group, that we put in to get this opportunity.
Talk to us about your Manning Cup experience, because the schoolboy football competition in Jamaica is very, very competitive, and I know Mona were really, really thrilled with their first ever title success, because Mona had, prior to then, not been a factor in schoolboy football. How enjoyable was that experience for you?
It was very enjoyable to see how we brought a school that wasn't really, you know, as they call it, one of the big names in the schoolboy football, and we made them, you know, a champion. And with all my teammates, we know that we're very proud of that moment, and we hope to defend the title again this year.
All right, talk to me quickly about Craig Butler as a coach, because he does appear to be a hard taskmaster and in some ways very, very rough, but at the same time lovable. Talk to us about his coaching style and how you've been able to manage under his guidance.
Well, his coaching is really tough love. He really cares about you, so anything you do wrong, he's gonna, you know, penalize you about it. So just because he loves you, he wants you to get it right. So anyway you take it, he still loves you at the end of the day.
All right, talk to us about what has happened to you since Manning Cup success with Mona High until now.
Well, I went on a trip this year in the summer. I think it was July to August.
July to August, yeah.
And we played against some teams up there in England. And at the end of the trip, I went to Gank for a week to train with the under 18s. And then come back here to Manning Cup.
Yeah. Casey, Gank is somewhere that Phoenix players have gone through. I know Leon Bailey had been at Gank before he had gone to Germany. Talk to us quickly about the partnership with Gank and how satisfying it's been to work with that Belgian club as part of the development of your players.
Well, I would say they've been integral in the developmental process for our players, and I'm very grateful for that partnership we have, because, you know, it's almost as if they're family. You know, stemming from the days of Leon and Kyle, it's been built up from then, and so players have passed through there, just trading everything they could possibly provide us with, just developmental skills. you know, it's been very gainful for us, I would say. Yeah.
I know that when people look at football in Europe, people, think about Germany and Italy and France and England. But I know that from a developmental standpoint and from a coaching standpoint, Belgium and the Netherlands are two countries that are flourishing as far as developing young players would be concerned. Can you talk to us quickly, Sean, about Genk and what was special about being there and on how much you learned being there?
I think with Gank, they really admire the young players, so they really train them and work hard with them.
And what about the discipline side of it? Because
they're very disciplined with them, so very strict with the rules, making sure that they have like right nutrition as well, and making sure they're on time for training and all that, and attitude.
Yeah, one of the things that works against players from the Caribbean succeeding with things like trials and so on is the fact that they weren't groomed well enough to accept what faces them when they go on these trials. So there are times I've heard of players having to deal with, a kind of construct and disciplinary approach that they're completely unaccustomed to, and they're lost. But I get the impression that at Phoenix, you get a good grounding as to what you have to inculcate into your everyday life to ensure that when you get these opportunities, it doesn't feel like too distant from what you have been accustomed to at Phoenix. Casey and Sean could comment on that.
Well, I think that's why we try our best to implement the standards from professional football into the players' everyday lives, so, as you said, so that when they are placed in that environment, because a lot of the time they will be alone, they'll have to cook for themselves, fend for themselves, they'll miss home, miss family. But, we try to instill all of that in them to be ready. And mental strength as well is a key factor. You have to be mentally strong because the professional football experience, it's not as easy as people would expect, It's very mentally challenging. So that's why our players are built to be strong, to withstand that.
Yeah, and that's the point I wanted to get to, Sean, because I get the impression that your Genk experience, as successful as it was not that difficult for you because of the grounding that you had. Could you talk a little about that?
I think one thing coach has done, from a younger age, he has made me have experiences. So like from I was, I think, 8, I went to Genk before this at 8.
8 years old?
Yeah, to train with the under 9. So I have experience from before.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think one thing he has done well is make sure I have a lot of experience so that when this comes up, it's not that, foreign to me.
Yeah. I want to point out something as well that Coach Craig Butler mentioned to me a short while ago about your dad and the fact that your dad had believed in this project from probably before you were born and had assisted financially in getting some youngsters from Jamaica to go to Europe to have that kind of experience. And your dad was confident enough and believed in the project enough that he put forward a considerable amount of money to ensure that this group could go there. Did your dad tell you that story?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, I know that story.
It must be something that is very fulfilling for him now to know that he had invested in the project in the way that he did, not knowing that his son would, in the end, be benefiting from something like this. Now, Chelsea is a top club. Chelsea is one of the top clubs in world football. And Dejon Whisper-Richards, a Phoenix All-Star player, went there. Leon Bailey, also from Phoenix, is at Aston Villa, having spent time at Bayer Leverkusen as well. So Phoenix All-Stars has some inspiring stories that they can look to. Chelsea is going to have a closer look now at Sean. What are the opportunities facing this young man as a 16-year-old now going to Chelsea with this opportunity, Casey?
Well, I mean, it's a great opportunity for anyone, much as at 16 years old. I would say it's a very good developmental opportunity as well. as well as for him to just, you know, mesh with the club and integrate, because they do have interest in him, essentially.
Yeah. How soon do you go to London for this Chelsea attachment?
I think in the next month.
In the next month. And is Chelsea a club that you have liked for a long time? Obviously, this opportunity is very big for you, and whether you're a Chelsea fan or not, you're gonna love this opportunity and benefit from this opportunity. How do you feel about Chelsea as a club?
I don't have a problem with them, you know. But actually my stepfather is a Chelsea fan, so
A Chelsea fan?
yeah. So I guess
there is something there. Yeah. Talk to us about the style of play in the club and what you see from Chelsea, and how much do you think, as a player, that you can integrate into their system?
Well, I've watched Chelsea, and I like how they play with the transition of how they play, and I think I would integrate well into their team if I get the chance.
Yeah. Your training schedule, we know, as Casey had just mentioned, a lot of people seeing international footballers or professional footballers don't understand what goes into it, and the discipline and the mental strain that goes with, you know, succeeding at this level. You haven't gotten there yet, but you have the opportunity. How confident are you, Sean, that you can take your ability to the highest level and become a really successful pro baller?
I'm very confident with the work that I've put in, to know that I'm confident to say that I have a very good chance against what is there.
Yeah. What do you think Chelsea liked most about you when they saw you?
Well, when they came, they were coming to look at Whisper, you know, Joe Shields.
Yes.
He came and then he spotted me, and then he had a talk with my father, and then he came to me and said he gave me two players to watch, Cole Palmer and Chukwuemeka.
Yes.
He said, they have a similar build to you, and I think you should, you know, look at how they play and build and how you play off of them. So I think he saw something, you know, special in me, so that he can bring to the club.
All right. And the fact that you were exposed to that level of football environment from an 8-year-old going to Belgium, how much do you think you have benefited from that?
I think I've benefited from that highly, because it gave me a lot of experience, you know, when these opportunities come. It's not as, you know, frightening as it is, as it looks.
Yeah, an interesting word there, Casey. You just used frightening, because this is a big deal here for Sean getting an opportunity to go to Chelsea. But I get the impression that there are many more Phoenix All-Stars, youngsters, that have this kind of potential, and you'll be steering them in that direction.
There's many in the pipeline.
Many in the pipeline.
For example, Denzel McKenzie, he'll be heading to Holland, to a club for trial very soon, within a month as well.
Okay.
Dante Peralto, Robina Gordon, you know, many of them, Kishane Gordon, all of them, they're all in the pipeline for greatness, I would say. So they're all ones to look out for. It's not just 1, 2, 3. There'll be many more.
I believe you. Casey, Sean, thanks for stopping by here on the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you. Congratulations on this opportunity, and I hope you flourish with this Chelsea opportunity and get the Jamaicans and the Caribbean players on the map as far as professional football is concerned in Europe. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we go to break. We'll have more on the SportsMax Zone coming up after this.